Hey everyone, in the last episode we built our first MCP server with a single greeting tool. Pretty simple, right? Today we are leveling up. We're going to build a Weber server with 5 tools and 3 resources, and you will see just how easy it is to scale with FastMCP. Let's get started. First, let's create a new project. Same process as the last time. Now we need to add our dependencies. This time we need two things, the MCP library and the request library for making HTTP calls. Let's create our server file and start building. First, we use the same setup as in the last episode. Now let's add our tools. First, I will create a helper function to fetch Weber data. This isn't exposed as a tool, it's just internal. Now let's add our first tool, getCurrentWeber. That's one tool. Now let's add another, forecast. Same pattern, just another decorator, type hints, docstring. FastMCP discovers it all automatically. Let me add 3 more tools really quickly. Compare weather between 2 cities, temperature converter, and rain probability checker. Notice that temperature converter doesn't even call the API. It's pure computation. Tools can do anything. Now let's add resources. Remember from episode 4? Tools do things, resources provide information. Tools on the left. They are functions that execute actions. Resources on the right. They are URIs that return reference data. See the function notation with parentheses? GetCurrentWeber, CompareWeber, ConvertTemperature. And resources use URI notation. Tools are callable with arguments and execute actions. Resources are read-only and provide context. Let's add our first resource, supported location formats. This resource just returns text, examples and documentation. No computation, no API calls. Now they need 2 more resources. Weather condition explanation and temperature conversion formulas. These like a built-in documentation. Cursor can read these to understand what formats to use or what weather codes mean. Now, one critical thing, we need to add this at the end of a file. This actually starts the MCP server. Without this line, nothing works if we have additional dependencies. Now, let's test all of this with MCP Inspector. MCP Inspector automatically discovers everything. Look at this. 3 resources, all are here. All 5 tools are also here. Let's test one, current weather in Berlin. And here we go. Temperature, conditions, humidity, wind, all from the live API. Resources work too. Here is our supported format guide. See how it's just a documentation, no computation happening. Awesome. Everything works. Now let's connect it to Cursor. Before configuring Cursor, we need 2 pieces of information. First, where is UV installed? Copy that path. Second, what's our project directory? Copy that too. Make sure you are inside the Weber app directory. Now, in Cursor, open Settings, search for MCP, and click Add Custom MCP. Now, here is the configuration. This is different from the last episode, so pay attention. See the directory flag? This is important. In the last episode, we had no extra dependencies, so we used a simpler command with MCP CLI. But this server needs request library. The directory flag tells UV to look for pyproject.toml file in this directory and load all the dependencies we added with UV add command. Without this, the request import would fail and the server wouldn't start. Make sure to replace these paths with your paths. The UV location from which UV and the project directory from pwd. Don't just copy mine. Then save a file and remember, sometimes we need to restart cursor for the changes to take effect. Great, the cursor connected to our Weaver server. Let's test it. Perfect, it uses our tool. And we've got live data. Now look, this checks the rain probability. In here, it reads our resource. It didn't call a tool. It just looked up documentation from supported formats. And comparison works too. That's the compare Weaver tool in action. And that's it. We went from the one tool in the last episode to 5 tools and 3 resources in this episode. The pattern is simple. Just keep adding decorators, mcp.tool for actions and mcp.resource for reference data. FastMCP scales beautifully. Tools for actions, resources for reference data, both working together to give cursor everything it needs. All the code from this episode I will push to GitHub. Link will be in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.